President Kassym-Jomart Tokayev held a series of meetings with representatives of international businesses and financial institutions on the sidelines of the Foreign Investors Council meeting in Astana. Prospects for cooperation in the coming years with the European Bank for Reconstruction and Development were discussed during the meeting with the bank's president, Odile Renaud-Basso. Kassym-Jomart Tokayev and Odile Renaud-Basso emphasized the importance of expanding cooperation in digitalization and artificial intelligence. The EBRD stated that it is ready to support the development of Kazakhstan's innovation ecosystem. To date, the bank's portfolio in the country comprises 131 projects worth more than 3 billion euros. President Tokayev also held a meeting with VEON Group Chief Executive Officer Kaan Tarzioğlu, who expressed interest in participating in the implementation of the digital Kazakhstan concept. In addition, the company plans to double the scale of its business in Kazakhstan over the next 3 years and invest an additional $1 billion in the country's economy. The president also discussed cooperation under the new 2027-2032 partnership strategy with the president of the Islamic Development Bank, Muhammad Sulaiman Al Jasser. To date, the financial institution has provided Kazakhstan with more than $4 billion in financing, while its portfolio of ongoing and planned projects in the country $3 billion. President Tokayev also met with Kush Choksi, senior vice president at the U.S. Chamber of Commerce. The parties explored opportunities to expand cooperation in energy, transport, connectivity, agriculture, and the development of critical minerals. The head of state also reaffirmed the country's readiness to strengthen constructive cooperation with the administration of U.S. President Donald Trump. Kassym-Jomart Tokayev discussed the implementation of joint projects in the nuclear industry with Tim Gitzel, president and CEO of Chemical Corporation. The head of state emphasized that establishing a complete nuclear fuel cycle in Kazakhstan is one of the strategic priorities. He also noted that the country continues to modernize its industrial sector while expanding high-value-added manufacturing. President Kassym-Jomart Tokayev met with AD Ports Group Managing Director and GCO Mohammed Al-Shamisi. The talks focused on expanding the Caspian region's transit and transport potential as part of Middle Corridor development. The two sides also discussed the operation of their joint freight transport ventures and the modernization of port infrastructure, including the construction of grain and cargo terminals. Construction has begun on a new beverage production plant in the Aktobe region. It will become Anadolu Group's sixth manufacturing facility in Kazakhstan. Over the past 30 years, the company has invested around $1 billion in the country's economy. Chairman of the board, Kamil Süleyman Yazıcı, briefed President Kassym-Jomart Tokayev on the project. The two sides also discussed the implementation of joint projects in other sectors of the economy.